Welcome everyone to our first official Open Inclusion online community platform for our monthly drop-in live sessions. My name is Allie Ingersoll and I'm Open Inclusion's Global Community Development Lead. And I'd like to introduce you first to Christine Hempel, the Managing Director of Open Inclusion.
Thank you, Ali, and welcome everyone to the first monthly drop-in session. It's lovely to be here with you.
We have another member joining. So today we are going to navigate the platform a little bit, talk about why we built the Open Inclusion Community online platform, who we are, what we do, meet some of our incredible community leads around the globe. And so I'm going to hand over the floor first to Christine for a little bit of an introduction, and then we'll hear from some of our other members.
Thank you, Ali, and say welcome everyone. And particularly I thought it would be nice to start today with a little bit of why have we built a community platform? What is it that we were trying to do? And it's really simple. Essentially, back a few years ago, pre-COVID, when we were doing lots of in-person research, there would be these fabulous discussions just before or after the research session itself, where community members were sharing with each other all sorts of really valuable ideas, solutions, or just having conversations and just sharing a little bit of time with each other. And it was this lovely space where we talk about the positively different community that we have, where being positively different is just who we all are in different ways. And we wanted to create a space where that could happen for those community members that might engage more on online research or not be able to travel so easily, but also for those conversations that would happen to kind of continue and be really valuable and useful. So essentially, it's taking what was a research panel and making sure it really is a community and has space for community to be in a non-transactional. We're asking you for research and one specific reason for engagement, but this ongoing engagement can occur across the community without us necessarily being in the middle, but just because people have ideas, solutions, challenges, excitements to share across with each other. So that was really the why of the community. And actually, Ali, shall we talk a little bit about the where we're at now with it? Because as at last week, 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago, we've launched the community in the UK. As at 2 months ago, we had launched it in the US. So thank you to our US community members for going first and helping us find some of the challenges and early bugs in the system. We've now launched it in the UK. And just to be very clear about where we are, it's live. We're very excited by the fact that it's there, but it's a start. And we know that it's a very humble start and that there's so far that it can go from here. Where it does go, though, will have a lot to do with all of you, with our members of the community that say, this is something that would be valuable. This is how it's got to where it is now by our engagements with the community that have said, this is what's going to be relevant. And we've got the lovely Alicia and Lynn on the call today, two of our community leaders who have been instrumental in helping inform us all the way through this kind of design and development process. But it's not there. And so just to be really clear, we know it's not there. Please tell us if there's something you can't do. Please tell us if there's something is inaccessible or difficult or just not the way that you'd like it. Because, by putting it out live, by having it, engageable, so that you can engage with it with many people, we're going to find things that do and don't work for different people. And we're certainly here to try and make sure that it keeps progressing and keeps becoming more useful and more valuable to all of you.
And one of our US community leads, she has a wonderful expression, progress over perfection. So that is one we live by every day.
There is plenty of progress yet to go. We're delighted by the fact that it is out there, it is live, and it is useful, to people from now. But it will continually progress, and as it does, these drop-in sessions on a monthly basis might be a great place for you to keep up to date with what new features might be coming on, if different research might be coming in, or there's new ways of engaging with each other, or new offers or competitions or things that might be fun things that are going on in your region. So this is something that we'll keep progressing, and we'll keep telling you about it and keep asking you what you would like. Don't wait to be asked though. Please just tell us if there's something you really want or don't like about what's there. We're really here listening and trying to make sure we keep progressing.
So with that, I thought we would pop over, Christine, to some of our community leads to ask them a few questions and introductions. So Lynn, we're putting you in the hot seat first. I hope you're well today.
It's my absolute pleasure to be able to introduce Lynn to you. Lynn and I have worked together. Gosh, I was thinking about this, Lynn, just before you popped on for a while, certainly for plenty of grey hairs that have come and joined my side. So for, I think, 7 or 8 years. And Lynn I'll let you introduce yourself and your very interesting and wonderful background. But Lynn has been our community leader for sight loss in the UK for the last 7 or 8 years, and is just a wonderful advocate across her specific community, being the community of people with sight loss, but also just a really strong and powerful advocate across the disability community more broadly. So Lynn, over to you, and thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, and thank you for the lovely introduction. So as mentioned, my name's Lynn Cox. I will try and speak a little slower because I've got a very, very strong West Midlands accent, so close to Birmingham accent, which can be difficult for those whose first language isn't English, as I keep getting reminded when I'm working abroad. I'm completely blind now. But I've had a visual impairment all my life. It was diagnosed at 5. I was convinced I was going to be a racing car driver by 14 and it was going to get better. It went the other way. So I went to a college in the Midlands, Herefordshire, called the Royal National College for the Blind, and I did my education there. I've got a first class degree in maths and computing from well, it was back then the Polytechnic of Wales. It's now the University of Glamorgan, and decided I really didn't want to spend my whole life in computing. I love tech, and I think that's informed an awful lot of my career going ahead. And I remember using a 20-cell braille display to do my degree on. I'm wondering how the hell I did mathematical equations, just being able to see 20 cells at a time, 20 characters at a time. But I love the tech. I love how I could connect into the computers. And I'm so old, I remember DOS. And I remember all the tech coming through for visually impaired people. But I thought, this isn't actually what I want to do as a career. I want something that's more to do with people and making statements about disability and looking at inclusion, looking at equality and equity. So I did a BA and an MA in fine art at Wimbledon School of Art, and that led me into coaching and mentoring disabled people, into a lot of the advocacy work and inclusion work like I do with Open. So being a spokesperson for part of the community, getting a sense of different things happening in the community, and how much we are or are not a community, because, you know, we love to say the visually impaired. Well, we're not. When it comes to it, we're individuals. We've got all our own intersectionalities, and lack of sight is one of those. You know, I'm a mum with 2 teenage girls. I had them later in life, so I got called a grandma last week, which was fun. I'm on my 4th guide dog, but I also use a white cane. I've worked abroad for bits and bobs of work over the years, including Saudi Arabia, Europe, Africa. And I did a research project that took me to Asia, where I looked at a lot to do with visual impairment over there, and like how the Tokyo system has got braille at the top of the stairs and things like that. So I've seen good practice and bad practice everywhere, and hopefully I bring some of this knowledge and these skills, and the idea is that I use it to help to inform. And because I've done general equalities training, I work with an awful lot of disabled people. I learn from them. I'm learning every day about what works, what doesn't work, what might work. And I think that keeps you active and adaptable, and it really helps. And I think it helps with my work for Open. So I'll be putting up some posts in the near future for Open. One of them might be trying to sign on and get in an NH login in the UK. It has been a nightmare because I can't photograph my passport, for instance. So just saying to people, this is tricky. However, you can do it this way, but you need X, Y, and Z. Now I've been through the process. It's just handy for people to know that, you know, there's some interesting tech going on. A lot of braille displays are coming down in cost. You know, there's some interesting debates about certain apps and certain companies in the UK, you know, and it's not all negative. Some of it is, oh, this company's really good. This app is really good. Oh, I've just come across this product. And there's a new set of bone conducting headphones that sound absolutely fabulous. So I'll put up a link to those as well, you know, and talk a bit about those. So my general thing is, if it's VI related or equalities related in general, I'm there. Anything else you need to know or want to know?
Lynn, can I just say thank you, and just to pick up on a couple of the things that you said there that I just love. And it's the, you know, the reason that you are such a powerful advocate and community leader within, you know, our community. The diversity within disability, and you talk about the diversity within sight loss, and the fact that, you know, sight loss isn't a community, disability is not a community either. There are so many communities within the broader community, and so many differences and levels of diversity with, you know, some anchors of similar characteristics, some anchors of similar challenges, but very, very different ways in which they appear in people's lives or are solved by people in their lives. And I think, you know, that's something that we love to embrace at Open. We love the difference within the disability community and getting to know whole people. You know, as you say, as a mum of teenagers and a dog owner, and you know, what Lynn didn't share is she's also a visual artist, and you know, all those other wonderful characteristics that we bring with us that make us whole people. I love that. The other thing is something I've seen for many years from you is early tech adopter and willing to try and give anything a go that sounds like it might be good, and then share your insights for others to learn from. And that's so valuable in a world where technology can be so enabling or could be so disabling, depending on how it's designed and delivered with human diversity in mind. And you know I've seen that in action so much. Really interesting and very valuable feedback on technologies that have come through. Now we might go to Alicia next, and then I'm going to come back and ask both of you some questions about your moments you've had with Open and things that are interesting, curious, or so on. But Alicia, shall we go over to you, and do you want to share a little bit about yourself? Oh, Alicia, you're on mute. And by the way, I just realized I gave you a very, very poor lead-in, given I gave Lynn a long lead-in, which is Alicia and I have worked together just for this year, but it has been such a pleasure. And she leads our mobility impairment community in the US and is just a wonderful energy and force of nature every time we engage. I just so love it. So Alicia, over to you.
Thank you. You're too kind. I'm grateful. It's afternoon. I'm like all over the place already. I'm Alicia. I am a mobility lead, or panel lead, if you will. I have a spinal cord injury, so I use a wheelchair to get around. I mean, I don't have all the things under my belt like homegirl before me, so I kind of feel like I don't have much to say. I'm new into getting into the communities, if you will, so I'm just starting to get my feet wet. So learning about accessibility for everyone and not just people with impairments, like physical impairments, has been really, really big. Open has taught me so many things, has opened my mind to so many things. I'm just really, really grateful to be here. That's all I got for y'all.
No, thank you,
Yeah,
Alicia. And Ali, I don't know if you want to add some more, but can I just pick up on one thing? Your curiosity and your openness makes you such a wonderful leader because you turn up every time, very open to, oh, isn't that interesting? That's a very different experience to mine. And I wonder how that, and I wonder where that, and how can we, support those needs in different ways. So,
And I will add a little bit for you, Alicia, if you would allow me to. I actually met Alicia at an advocacy competition for Miss Wheelchair America. And Alicia is a big advocate in the disability community for accessible medical equipment in hospital systems and health and wellness, and really understanding what that looks like to take the best care of yourself and be your authentic self. And it has been such a pleasure. And in the moment I met Alicia, I saw her energy and her passion and thought she'd be a beautiful member of, community lead with us at Open, and shows up every time with a smile and always willing to learn. And that's why we're here. We're here to learn from one another.
absolutely. Now,
Y'all
Lynn,
were too kind. Oh my goodness, thank you.
genuinely true and genuinely meant. Lynn, I'm going to pass back to you, and obviously you've had a longer period of experience, but in your time at Open, just pick a couple of things that have been curious, interesting, memorable for you, and why so.
Oh, there's been so many. One of the ones I found particularly interesting was a project Open did with one of the universities over here and some other contributors. And we were looking at VR equipment, so virtual reality equipment, and how the hardware and the software of virtual reality equipment could exclude disabled people if it's not developed and if there's no guidelines or protocols like there are with the World Wide Web. So we did a really interesting project where I was trying out the VR headsets. For a start off, it was difficult to get to the campus. So Open organised for me to get a taxi there, which was lovely. Somebody was meeting me as I came out the taxi because I read it. Immediately I said, I need a coffee. You're not going to get anything sensible out of me until I get a coffee. She helped me do that, use the facilities. And then it was quite a long session, but it didn't feel it. It was about 2.5 hours, but it flew by. And we were looking at the hardware and how the hardware fitted on your head. Did it make you feel ill? What are the buttons you could feel? Could you do it? Was it all, look at something with your eyes and flick, which I couldn't do? Were the menus? Was the haptic feedback within the unit? If you used a controller, what was the controller like? Could you use it? Because some of the VR headsets weren't standalone. And it was really interesting to me how 3 of them, 3 different systems I looked at that day, and I had rests in between, and, are you okay? I had the room described to me, because obviously I was moving about this room, not seeing anything. With the headset on, I could have easily walked into something, but I felt completely safe and secure. And I think that for me was a really, really productive set of research, because I know Open, I think we're working with 40 odd people with different access needs. So I suspect the information that the research gave was absolutely thrilling. In a lot of ways, a lot of it wasn't accessible for me, and I knew it wouldn't be accessible on the day, but it was nice to see what wasn't accessible, how it wasn't accessible, and to suggest the solutions. For me, XR, virtual reality and augmented reality are the things of the future. And I think if we don't get those right at this pivotal stage, and we're not involved with the research and things with that, it's going to be really tough to catch up. You know, so that for me was a cutting edge one. But we've done everything, you know. I've done going around supermarkets and assessing how easy it is to go around it, what kind of help you get, how easy is it to go around, you know, and filling out reports and surveys. That was one of the very first pieces of work I did, you know. So I think it's a variety, you know. We even went abroad to look at some research with a company, you know, and again, it's usually small groups. And I love that thing that I'm meeting half a dozen people and getting to know them, you know, if it's a 1 hour session, 2 hour session, a Zoom session. It's that feeling of, oh, I can't do that, you can't do that. Oh, we've got absolutely different impairments, but actually our access needs are the same. And you think, I think I get to feel more broadly then. So it is part of that I find really interesting. So I tend to go towards the techie sides. I love the physical getting out there. We've done a few around stations. I'm based in London, so we've done a few around train stations and tube stations in the past. They're always interesting to me, because I think getting our access and our transport access right makes London probably one of the easiest cities in the UK to get around. And just knowing you might have helped a little bit in part of that. You know, it's hard to change everything because it's such a big worldly network. But they're looking at it, you know. And it's been years and years. I remember looking at the first passenger assist kind of apps probably 5 years ago, and different ones were launched and different ways, and looking at different solutions, you know, and I think different ones were being developed at different times. But part of the research I did for Open, we went up to York. That was really informative, because that really gave me a sense of how complex the issues were, and also the knowledge that the train companies were trying to get it right.
Thank you, Lynn. I think there's just, you know, again, such a range of different things that you've been involved in. That project you mentioned where we were looking at immersive technology, so virtual reality and augmented reality and all these new interfaces, I think it's the reason that Open is always very keen to be involved in innovation projects, whether it's passenger assist apps, as we were, you know, 5 years ago when you were doing the trip to York, or immersive technologies now, because these are the spaces that, if they exclude today, disabled people in 5 years' time will be getting a very different and inequitable experience relative to non-disabled consumers or travellers or citizens. Whereas if we can put that fuel of really rich, diverse insight into the system now, it can actually be an incredible enabler in the future, where technology, and we've seen this in the past, and, you know, for the sight loss community, a lot of the assistive technologies that were there, you know, decades ago, we're only just catching up with, you know, as a mainstream consumer tech market now. So, you know, there's so much power in technology to remove and reduce barriers that exist in society today. So, yeah, we love the technology projects. I personally absolutely love those ones too. Alicia, I know that you've been with us a lot shorter period, but, you know, whether with Open or just, you know, in research and engagement and informing better solutions, you know, some of your thoughts on how diverse insights can inform better solutions or better futures.
One of the things that I was involved with Open recently was a roundtable for Remarkable. That was phenomenal. Being able to see the things that people are creating for the community as a whole. Because like I said, access, I was only focused on access needs for people who had physical impairments or use a wheelchair. and not even a power wheelchair I didn't consider, but being able to be a part of that just kind of opened me up to learning about accessibility for everyone, literally everyone, people who can't hear, who can't see, anything. I've been wanting to learn and download all the apps that I can to make sure that I can communicate with everyone, to make sure people have access not just to physical spaces, but online spaces, because I've never even considered how to make a website accessible. I'm just thinking you slap it up there and that's it. So I'm really, really grateful to be learning about these things, because I've never been it's all about me. I want to be able to go whatever I go through, I want somebody to be able to learn and grow through the next. So if I can help a little baby coming up that has different impairments, then I want to know and absorb all of that knowledge. So Open has been an open resource for me, if you will, just kind of exposing me to all of the things. And now while I'm out, I know what to look for people who are hard of hearing or might have sight loss or something other than a wheelchair user would look for, So now I feel like I'm getting a little more well-rounded in the community, if you will, because it's not just one group or one person. Intersection is something that I didn't even consider was a real thing until I realized just how badly we need more of it. And it was like, oh, wow, Open, you guys really helped me to open my eyes to a lot of things. So I'm super, super, super excited and grateful for that. I've been able to learn different tips and tricks from the online community, just from some of the discussions, and I'm able to give some of my feedback as well. So super grateful. I'm really, really looking forward to more more projects. I'm looking to do some research things, but that's about it. Yeah.
Alicia, thank you. And I think we're all on a journey of learning. That's the beautiful thing about any community, but particularly a community as diverse as disability, is every different human characteristic and context of living can come across the disability the disability community will be across, because it is such a pervasive human difference to be disabled in some way. And whether it's gender, ethnicity, where we live, how we choose to interact with things, whether we love tech, don't love it, we're all here always learning. I always say to people, I've never yet been to a piece of research and not been surprised, which just goes to show I still know nothing, which is why we're researchers, not tellers of stuff. And so we're always on that beautiful journey of learning, and that's the fun of it. Ali, back to you.
We had one more question that we wanted to ask the community leads about what excites you about disability inclusion in your community, in your world, within your advocacy efforts, professional life. And I'll hand it over to Lynn first and then to Alicia.
I think there's a lot that excites me, actually. I think generally we're more adaptable and we're more open, and we're more open to listening to different communities and different organizations and accepting difference. We accept diversity and we accept each other very openly. And I think in the communities as well, I do a lot of equity training. You go back to the 1960s, disabled people were trying to fight for their rights alongside apartheid, alongside the civil rights movement. We didn't get in USA and UK legislation that helped us until the 1990s. It's actually not that long. And okay, there might be faults with the legislation, but it's there. I think we've now got, we've had people in the past that have fought for our rights, and I think it's really important that we keep understanding how important it is. Just like as a woman, the suffragettes gave me the vote. I feel people that have gone ahead of me have given me the opportunity to be more of who I am. And there's still a disability pay gap. There's still a lot of discrimination out there. But actually, the more people see us, see that we're just people, and actually going ahead with our lives, no matter what they are, I think hopefully that'll be the next thing that we tackled. And I think people will be talking about it. It's not going to happen overnight, because women getting equal pay is still nowhere near where it should be. But I think there's positive action being taken. There's organisations, there's support places, there's companies within different industries that actually are promoting disabled people, you know, right up to board level. I've just been involved with some of the research, you know, why aren't disabled people at board level in the UK? It's been looked at, and it's been looked at seriously. So for me, I think in the past, sometimes it was one disability against another. Oh, well, my, you know, oh, well, they've only got so-and-so. I don't hear that anymore. I don't hear those things of like 20, 30 years ago. I think we all appreciate, we all have difficulties, we all have issues, and we help each other. And I think that can only make us stronger in the future.
God, I just love that, Lynn. Thank you. You just make me feel better about my day today. And I think that reminder of the giants whose shoulders we stand on, you know, even if they were not such giants, you know, people like Judith Heumann, you know, who passed earlier this year, just absolutely incredible individuals that fought for rights, and you know, many individuals that have come before us to give us the space we're in now, whether that's as a disability community or as women or in the civil rights movement, you know, that the openness of opportunity that we have today has come from a very long line of very active change makers of the past, and just to kind of do the service and honor of recognizing them. And then, like you, taking up that mantle of, we're not there yet, we're not close to there yet, we're a long way ahead of where we were, but there's so much opportunity looking forward to go from being solved for to being led with and by, and you know, going from passive recipients to active participants to leaders and definers. You know, there is a lot of progression yet to be made, but it's really lovely to hear, you know, to remember that there's so much that we have come from in terms of trajectory of growth and opportunity. And yeah, this is the space where we can all now keep that momentum moving.
It's humbling while pushing for systemic change on a daily basis. Alicia, same question to you, and then we will, I will share my screen and we'll go through the platform a little bit together.
Lynn said it beautifully. Christine's follow-up was pretty beautiful also, because for me, I think the communities being visible and in the light of, this is just how we live, this is simply me adapting to adversity and keeping it moving, versus the inspiration porn narrative being slapped over everything. I think that I'm grateful for that time to be here, or at least near, if you will, because I don't mind being called an inspiration or something like that, but also, to me, I feel like the public doesn't see enough people with different impairments just living their lives without it being a ask for help, or we need money, or wow, my insurance. It's always kind of like a negative light, versus there are people standing in their powers regardless of what they can and can't do. So I think for me, I am grateful to be newly included in this community at this time, because I don't think that I could have been a Judy Heumann back in the day. And I feel like, give me a few years and I might be able to be one for the babies coming behind me. But to be a person that can pick it up instead of like start it, I'm grateful for that. And I feel like there are a lot of advocates all over, and since social media and online is becoming a thing, I'm hoping that we can get better representation, just in general. But I'm super, super, super excited to see new adaptive things coming about in your general stores like Walmart deciding to do an adaptive line. It's about time, okay? But also that's great because it's an everyday store that everyday people go to on a daily basis. So I'm hoping that we'll see more commercials with different impairments on TV, and we're not asking you for money. No, we're just showing you, hey, you can get a bag that works for you. You can get this from that works for you. And it's nothing, oh, feel sorry for me. It's none of that. It's just simply, this is how we live. This is the things that we use. So, hey, if you need them, come get them. If you don't, keep it moving. We've got other things for you. So I'm really, really grateful to be alive in this time, especially in the community, because if I wouldn't have had my spinal cord injuries, I wouldn't have even considered the community for, I mean, I didn't scoff at people, I would help people, but I didn't actually consider the people in design during doing anything. Like I used to do hair, I was a master cosmetologist for years, and just people with mobility impairments needing to transfer to a chair, just the different things I wouldn't have even thought of them. So I'm grateful now that it's been brought to my attention and that I can be a part of the change. If that makes sense.
Absolutely, and thank you so much. And yeah, we're all part of the change, and that's the wonderful thing. Back to that community rather than panel. That's the opportunity of why we've started this online platform. Is everyone can be part of that change in just a little way, just answering someone's question. As Lynn was saying before, I found a way through this really frustrating process. Well, let's save someone else through that frustrating process and make it a little less so. Or even just asking a question and letting someone else be, the person that can come and save that frustration for you. So I think change enablement just comes in so many steps and in so many different shapes and in so many different ways. And if we all take on a little bit of the mantle, it'll come faster.
Thank you, Christine. I'm going to take over and share my screen to introduce you to our online community. Please note that we're going to have monthly welcome sessions. So we'll do kind of a broad overview today, and then we'll go through different sections each month to get you a little bit more familiar. So if you just allow me just a moment to share my screen. There we go. Too many screens open. This is our open inclusion community. This is the home page. And once you log in and you register, there's a two-step registration process. There's a partial member, and then they'll ask you to complete your profile for all of your different access needs and technological needs. And we will spend some time on that on another session. So here we have on the top menu bar, we have home, research, discussions, my groups, events, and open inclusion website. This is a top quick links navigation bar is the best way to think about it. And when you scroll down on the website, on the web page, which we will, these are little quick links that stay locked at the top for you to get to if you need to. So I'm going to scroll down. And here is on the intro page, a little watching a YouTube for our Welcome to Inclusion, Open Inclusion community, what we're about, what we do. Top 4 things that we do is we get involved in inclusive paid research opportunities as and when it suits you. Share and learn from each other, as we just heard from Lynn and Alicia and everything that they've shared. We have events and offers and competitions, and we have different partners for employment opportunities and educational opportunities. You have the ability to see money that you've earned from different research projects, and you can update your preferences, select how you wish to be paid. I'm scrolling down now. As you can see here, we have our house and community guidelines. I'm going to click on it for just a moment so you can take the time to read it at your leisure. And we do hope it's accessible. We're always open to suggestions if you have any. Essentially, with our terms and conditions, the core message for our guidelines is be kind, be open, be authentic, be valuable, respect each other's voice, and comment in a constructive and supportive way. So on this post, you can continue to scroll down and read this as you would like. This is a locked post, so it will be here at all times. I'm going to click the back button to get back to the home page. As you can continue to scroll down, we have, and I want to spend a little bit of time on this, on the Simply Awards 2023. These are awards that were started by Project Discovery in India, and Open Inclusion has taken them to, please correct me if I'm wrong, Christine, Australia, America, Ireland. Am I missing another? I'm missing another country.
Yeah, Australia, New Zealand, so
New
2
Zealand, yes.
Antipodeans, UK and Ireland, so 2 Europeans, and USA and Canada, so 2 North American countries.
And so these awards are about sharing and recognizing practical, simple life hacks across your disability community. It's not just for people with disabilities. It involves, it could be a caregiver, a friend, a loved one, a solution or hack, something that makes your day a little bit easier that you've come up with. These do not have to be complicated solutions. These are not commercial ideas. So we're going to share them on our YouTube channel as a global repository so everyone can learn from one another. And their winners, there's prizes. The top category wins up to £1,500. There's different categories of winners, and they're proudly sponsored this year by Eli Lilly, AMVBBDO, I know that's a mouthful, and the Discovery Awards. And you can click to apply. And essentially, and to give you an idea what some of these awards are about, you can go to our YouTube channel and watch some of our solutions from Debbie, Stephanie, and Luke last year, that from lifting heavy magnets for a wheelchair user in order so she could help her husband cook in the kitchen, to identifying objects with a hairband from Stephanie. And these are ideas that is you submit a 5-minute video, up to a 5-minute video, and there's various different formats you can do that. And it's very casual. It does not have to be formal. You do not have to edit the video, but we want you to share with us what you've come up with in your daily life. And there's Christine, and you can watch a little video of her talking about the awards, what they do, why we've created them, how to reading terms and conditions, how to fill out your application. We're more than happy to help you do that. The awards opened in May and they close in September. I believe it's September, middle of September. So there is time. So we're really looking to spread these awards across the community. It's a really beautiful way to share and recognize ideas. I'll give you an example. I am a C6 quadriplegic, and in my disability community groups that are private, we share simple solutions and hacks all the time, and they're private and they don't get shared with the world. And it's a shame because I've looked at some of the solutions myself from the Simply Open Awards last year, and I've adopted some of them personally as well. And we have eligibility and timelines for the awards. So these are the countries: United Kingdom, Ireland, United States, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. So again, you can apply if you have a disability or a specific access need, and it is open to a carer, friend, colleague, teacher, family member, or anyone else who is connected to someone with a disability. And here are the timelines. So applications opened in May, they will close in September, and the 2 top winners for the Simply Open Awards will have a fully inclusive trip to the Zero Project Conference in Vienna to showcase their ideas and what they have come up with, and get to network with some of the most incredible disability inclusion advocates and companies and businesses.
Just to add a little bit to that, besides sharing ideas and helping people learn from the innovativeness across the community, this is also a real opportunity to just change the narrative around disability, to showcasing how much innovativeness comes from the community. So even with our sponsor partnerships, we then work with them to engage into their organizations to help showcase disability innovation through to their organizations that have thousands of employees and impacts across consumers, up to millions of consumers. So it's just such a lovely way of doing a number of things for one, in one, and one of them is actually changing the narrative around disability to showcasing innovativeness across this community. And Zero Project Conference is a place where some of the leaders of the disability inclusion movements around the world come together. So it's just a great place to infuse it directly from grassroots innovation and community members. Those two members I should mention are from anyone across the Discovery Awards, and that includes people who have applied for awards in India, in Kenya, in Bulgaria, in Germany or Switzerland. So some of the other programs that are running in parallel to these ones.
And as Lynn and Alicia alluded to earlier, it is about really coming together and showcasing solutions together and working together, because there's so people with disabilities, and both of you mentioned this, are some of the most creative problem solvers on the planet. We're constantly running into barriers in our own lives and friction points, and where are those friction points? And oftentimes we are forced out of necessity to come up with something very, very simple solutions. So there are prizes for the different award winners as well. And for spreading the awards, and a big thank you to our NGOs and nonprofit partners around the globe. For those that spread the awards and have the most number of submissions from their members, they also have a prize as a thank you, because we value their time and their commitment and our partnerships and our collaborations with them as well. And then here's a little bit more. You can take some time to read about the Zero Project Conference in Vienna in 2024 and the Global Discovery Awards that Christine just spoke about. And in this picture, you will see one of our wonderful team, one of our colleagues, Josh Wintersgill, and he is runs our innovation lead here at Open Inclusion. And he is a very key part of our team, and he will be on in one of our monthly sessions. So those are the Simply Open Awards, and you can apply to them at any time up to September. So really encourage you to share this with family and friends, a loved one, if you have an idea. So I'm clicking back to the homepage now. So we're on the Simply Awards. So now we come down to another header called the Open Community. So this is where you can pop in where the monthly welcome sessions. You'll be able to see this record all of our recordings each month to go back and check out if there's one session we might be talking about how to change your notifications or how to post a discussion in a thread. So we'll have a repository, and we'll also create through these monthly sessions with questions, a frequently asked questions sections on how to do certain things, barriers you may be running into, challenges, things that you love, things that you'd like to see changed. We would love to hear feedback. And these are welcome and introductions. And competitions and special offers. We have the Simply Open Awards, but we have different community partners. So please keep an eye out for this, because we'll always be updating that. If you need open help or support, we have a variety of different ways. I'll show you at the bottom as well. But if there's a better way for us to reach out to you that's not working, more than happy to help in any way we can. Post it in discussion, and we will go through how to post a discussion, we have a lot of different emojis, how to like and comment back. And this is a key part of what we were doing is we have research running all the time. And historically, we've all reached out to our community members for research. So this is a place we will have open research, and you can apply to it. And depending on your access need or the specific piece of research we have going on, you'll be able to see what we have. Presently, as of our first monthly session, we will have research up there within the next few weeks. So please be patient. We're just working out some technical barriers at the moment ourselves, but it will be up there. But
Ali, I was just going to jump in here and say, in fact, on the call, we have our lovely Millie, who is the person who reaches out to people, whether in the US or the UK, when we're running research. So if you're hearing from Millie, Millie, I don't know if you want to say hi, completely up to you, but I noticed given you're here on the call today, and whether people are on the platform or just part of the community and wish to be part of the platform some of the time, or just read emails because that's easier, or even get phone calls for people who are not tech savvy, so that we can make sure that this is the most inclusive community, across people's different access needs and preferences. That is our lovely person who has been responsible for most of the research, recruitment at the moment, and also a lot of our communications.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Millie.
Hey, Millie, it's so lovely to see you here today.
On the right-hand side of the screen, you will also see, because this is my account, you cannot see points. I have not earned any points because I work with Open, but where I highlighted right here will say you were earned 10 points or 20 points, and what that equates to in dollars or pounds. You can add your update and payment details. We pay in different gift cards directly to your bank account, and we will work with you as best that we can. And we have a couple different payment options, but this will be updated live in real time as you complete research as well. And we will dive into each of these sections next time, but how does research work at Open? What opportunities are available? How do you apply for it? But this is where the section lives on the website. And I know we have about 8 minutes, and I really wanted to show you where you can get involved directly today, My Life and Community Spaces and Events. And up here on the top bar, you will see discussions and my groups. It correlates and corresponds directly to my community groups and My Life discussions. And you may be asking, what's the difference between the two? Well, my community groups are private groups that are for your specific access need, whether you're chronic ailments, the blind or low vision, just aging, whatever group you feel appropriate, and pan disability group, and you have to be asked to let in. And these are more private conversations that you may want to just have with individuals on topics that you don't want to put on the whole community. My Life Discussions is a public forum once you're a full member. I'm going to click on it. We have 65 discussions, and a huge thank you to so many of our community leads and members who've already started these conversations. And we have, I believe we have about 17 or 18 different categories: workplace and employment, education, entertainment, travel. I will let you browse through all of the categories, but I would love to show you an example of a post. And let's pick cooking and nutrition. So when you scroll down, let's put easy to prepare recipes for people with disabilities. So you can post whatever you would like. It's really helpful. Sometimes you just have a question, but if you have tips or tricks, it's really great to post a link in there. You can post a video. When you embed a video, it has to be from YouTube though, not from your computer. And you can put different headings in there as well for accessibility for screen readers. So you can embed an easy YouTube video on how to make a healthy, easy pizza, and some links that you'll see are underlined, and you highlight, you hover over them, and you can open them, and they will open up in a separate tab. And we will have a whole session just on posting a discussion and how to do that in great detail. But just for each post in the beginning, to get you started right now, you can promote the post, you can disagree with it, you can agree with it. If you disagree, we do hope you will explain why, because we're always learning from one another. You can like it, you can laugh at it, and you can type here. Oh, I do not want to play that video right now, but you can learn how to make a healthy pizza later. And you can type and leave a comment as well. And you would just post comment. And again, you have the capabilities to add upload a file as well, insert a media, or add an image as well. And since we have about 5 minutes, if we can go over with the very, very basics. If you click new post on the right-hand navigation pane side, you would left click and you put add a new discussion. And it's pretty simple and very intuitive. We've had a lot of feedback on this, but always looking to improve. And this would be in the category. You'd put a discussion title, you would type your message, and we will actually go through a real-time live example of this next time as well. And you can announce it in your category, in your recent discussions, and you would simply post a discussion. The last thing I want to show you with 5 minutes remaining on our first intro session is if you click your face, and if you are a registered member, you may not have a photo up there yet. And we really encourage you, if you'd like to, even if it's if it's a picture or a painting you like and you don't want to put your face up, that's okay, but it's great to identify with who's in our community. If you left click and you go to account and privacy settings, this is where you have full control over your account. On the right-hand side, you can see you can change your picture. You can see who's online. Notification preferences will be really important as well, because you can be notified by email or just notified on the top menu button when somebody posts something. You can be notified if it's in your group or if it's on a discussion that you're interested in. So you have full control of we don't want to inundate your inbox. So we want to make sure that it works for you. So I'm going to go back to the home and I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a moment as we have just a few minutes left. So those are the basics of our community, and we didn't even get to all of it today. So this is why we're going to have monthly sessions that are not just how-tos, but we're also going to bring on different community leads as well from the UK and the US and different advocates to talk about what engages them, what they're interested in, about the platform itself. So stay tuned. And Christine, do you have any final thoughts before we sign off today?
I just wanted to thank you, Ali. What a lovely tour of the platform. Thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it. We know that this is new for people. We know it's going to take a little bit of time to, when you get on, just kind of find your way around. Hopefully it is quite intuitive. So once you've been on a few times, you just know what conversations you want to be part of, and you know where you'd like to go. But thank you so much, Ali. It was really helpful day.
And it would be really helpful for us at Open is we are going to make a long list of video tutorials of 2 to 5 minutes, how to do this, how to change your profile picture, your notifications. But before we don't want to create this alone, just like we create all of our research with our community leads and our community. We want to create this with you. So any comments, suggestions you have, please feel free to email us, post them in a discussion thread so we know which videos you would like to see. And with that, we will see you next month live. Thank you everyone for joining us, and welcome to the Open Inclusion community.
Thank you. Thanks, Ali.